Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Roadblock here again. This is an interesting video, one that I've never done before. It's kind of my first video reply to comments. Real quick before I get too deep into it, I just want to say that I'm really excited about the channel right now. Getting a lot of comments, a lot of likes, a lot of traffic and feedback, and this is great. This is helping me get encouraged to make more content, and it's also helping me to um, come up with ideas for content, like this one in particular. One thing I do want to ask real quick, um, if you guys can, let me know in the comments if you want to see face cam. I have the capability of face cam. I used to do it back when I was a streamer. I just really haven't been doing it because the background of my gaming setup right now is in the living room. However, I would, if you guys want to see face cam and see my facial expressions while I talk about this kind of stuff, I'm very happy to put it back in and get that figured out. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see my face. It's not a big secret or anything. You can see what I look like in some other. You feel free to go look at some of my much older content and see what I look like, and you can tell me, oh no, I don't want to see that guy. You go ahead and stay off camera. You're meant for radio, sir. But no, I'm just kidding. So anyways, let's get into today's video. A comment that I literally got just probably about 10 minutes ago. Somebody said that they were struggling with the game and hoping that they could gain insight from my channel. And I said, are there any particular areas you are struggling with that I could try and touch on in a future video? And they said basically they suck at builds and they don't know what champs they should use in their best areas. And so it got the wheels turning in the head a little bit. And I'll be honest, I started this recording without really knowing where to go. So a couple of things right out the gate. Let's start with hellhades.com. So in fact, I'll even show you something that I like to do. So let's say we want to find out about Kale. I'll just type in Kale Hellhades. Hey, look, first thing that pops up. This is a breakdown of Kale. So where's Kale useful? All right, so Kale's good in Clan Boss, right? 4-star on Clan Boss. Good on Spider, good on Fire Knight, great on Dragon, and good on Ice Golem. You can see the value right here. This is all the value that you get out of Kale. Okay? What about Sun Wukong? So when you're in here, you can type in Sun Wukong. And then it's going to bring up Sun Wukong. You can come in here and you can see, oh man, he's a 5-star on Hydra and Doom Tower. And he's a 5-star in Arena. He's really good. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Glad to get that information. So this is a great tool that you can use just to find out where champions are good. Okay? But let's say that you don't want to use that tool, or for whatever reason, there could be many reasons why you may not want to go to Hellhades website. You may just want to kind of get a better understanding. See, what you need to do is ask yourself what you need in that area. Okay? So I just made a video like 15 minutes ago about PvP. Feel free to check that video out. Mostly that's talking about how you can take advantage of the free characters that you can get in the game. When I say free, I mean the farmable characters that you can get in game from campaign, um, and how you can use them to maximize whatever area or arena that's specifically targeting arena. But let's say you're looking for progression elsewhere in the game. So my biggest thing is clan boss. I talk about clan boss being the biggest priority for anybody that's starting out this game. You want to get as far as you can on clan boss. Well, how do you do damage to the clan boss? Again, this is another video I made that does a whole breakdown just about clan boss, but you're going to want characters that bring poisons or HP burns or in some cases percent based damage. Um, because bosses where you're killing one character with a lot of HP, those percent based damage effects will do more damage. What other areas would you need help on in the game, right? So for dungeons, we kind of covered. Now, there are certain dungeons that have niche mechanics as well. So, for example, Sand Devils, you're going to have very niche mechanics that you're going to want to work your way around, right? He hits really, really hard. So you're going to want to kind of either find a cheese mechanic or some block damage mechanic, something along those lines, right? Fire Knight, you need multi hitters. You need characters that do multiple hits to break down his shield, right? Because if you don't break down the shield, then you can't do actual damage to the boss. So going in there with 5 single attack hitters or single hitter attacks, you're never going to kill Fire Knight. So you need to bring in characters that have multiple attacks. That's what makes a character like Deacon so good, because he does have a 2 times hitter. Kale has a 4 times hitter on his A3. Apothecary has a 3 times hitter on his A1. So these are all valuable things that can be brought to the table. Let's say you have a support. Now, support is a deceptive term, okay? Both Deacon Armstrong and Apothecary are supports. But Apothecary, while he has similarities to Deacon as far as turn meter fill, he also brings a direct heal, where Deacon brings leech. So Deacon's not so much a healer as he is a support. Apothecary is a bit of a healer and a bit of a support. So you kind of want to get an understanding of what you need to progress. So let's say you're trying to, you know what? I can even show you a great example. Okay. So we're going to go do this stage that I cannot beat. Okay. So this is, I'm progressing through Dragon Normal. Okay. The waves are not a problem for me. I can take care of these waves just fine. As you can see here, I'm able to defeat them, no issues. Okay. So this wave I might not be able to beat. I might take some hits here. Yeah, and so you can see I've already lost one person. Not great. Sun Wukong can come back, so no big deal. I thought I could get through this wave. Why didn't I do any damage there? Okay, well they can keep killing Sun Wukong all they want. I'm fine with that, because he'll come right back as long as I don't get block revived here. Man, and decreased defense was on, and they still survived that. Interesting. Right. See? I needed some healing to get past these waves. Apothecary fills that role. I'm sorry this is taking so long. I didn't realize that I had so much trouble with the wave. Okay. So now, what do I need here, right? So let's slow it down. Right now, I need more damage. I need to break this. I don't want him getting this ability off, because it stuns my whole team, and then look at how much turn meter he got after that stun. So now he's going to get another turn and do a lot of damage to my composition. Boom. Lots of damage. I could really use a cleanse as an example, right? Like, I would love to have a cleanse here to be able to get rid of these debuffs, or have a block debuffs going into it. Spirit Host is a champion that brings those, and I have. She's just too squishy and doesn't bring the heal. So that's one way that I could improve this team. Finding a cleanse, like Reliquary Tender is an example of a cleanser. There's plenty of others. Pythion, there's a lot of them out there. Spirit Host I just mentioned. Or I need to find somebody that has AoE healing to survive all the poisons that I'm taking here, right? So I know that. I see that that's what I need. Now, this account is only 18 days old. I don't have a way of really getting those characters at the moment. But I can, this is how I can analyze and say, oh, this is what I need to progress. The other thing I need is bigger single target damage, right? So if I have some bigger single target damage, he doesn't get that stun off. And while he still hits me with the poison attack, I would be going into this with more HP, and Apothecary wouldn't die there. I could also, another way of doing that would be getting more speed. So getting Apothecary leveled up to 60, who is going to be my next 60, he can come in and then provide more healing, and he himself will have more survivability so that he won't die to these effects. Okay? I could give you another great example. I wish I could log on to... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try something new. So, specifically for this video, I'm going to go ahead and try something new. I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to have my editor put 2 videos together for you guys, which is something we're not quite prepared yet to do. We're still planning out a lot of stuff, but I think he'd be willing to put these 2 videos together so you can see on my main account where maybe I can just talk about it. Oh, yeah, I'll just talk about it. But prepare for that kind of content will be coming here in the near future. I plan to improve the quality of my content. So on my main account, I have Faction Wars almost completed. The only faction that I have not completed is the Sylvan Watchers faction. The reason I'm mentioning this is my hardest faction that I had to complete, and I did it today, was Demon Spawn. And I have a Mortu Macabre, I have a Heffrak, I have Drexstar, I have a Lure. You know, these are all great champions, but I couldn't get past the hump because the boss was locking me down. And so I had to go to the well. Okay, what champions do I have waiting in the wins? Now, I had a Magnar waiting. He's a great champion. I should level him. I just haven't because I have other PvP. Because I have Heffrak, really. I just feel Heffrak does what Magnar does. And then I already have a Genbo that's leveled and a Supreme Elhain that's leveled and then my Mortu Macabre, right? So I have PvP nukers. And then ones from other classes that I don't even need to mention, Sun Wukong, etc., right? So Magnar just took a backseat to that. So I tried to level Magnar thinking, okay, well, he has a stun, right? And that wasn't enough. So that was last week. Fast forward to this week, and I started leveling a Dur the Hungerer. Now, why? Dur has Revive and a heal, right? Just a classic support champion. So today I went into the highest difficulty of Faction Wars Demon Spawn and started trying it out. And I got past the first 2 waves with everyone alive, but then I kept getting locked down. I kept getting frozen and feared by the boss. And the problem was when that happens, and taunted. It wasn't fear, it was taunt. It's actually all 3. I was getting taunted, I was getting feared, and I was getting frozen. So my Dur, even though he had his revive ready to go and revived the people that died, it was on. I could never use it because he was constantly taunted. Okay, so I needed to get him more resistance. So I went into my gear, and on that particular account, I have a lot of different gear sets. Righteous is I have on that account. I don't think I have any Righteous on this account. If I do, it's equipped. Okay, yeah, so Righteous. Speed plus 10% and resistance plus 40. So I put Righteous gear on Dur. I did high HP and high defense because it's a support champion. I'm not looking to get damage out of Dur, so I don't need crit damage. I don't need attack percentage. I needed survivability, HP percent and defense percent. Put accessories on him that had HP defense. And he was only level 50 when I did all this. Because I didn't want to 6-star him if I didn't have to. Well, wasn't enough resistance. So I actually went to Hellhadies.com and I went to what they have, their raid stages tool. So I'll just show you here real quick how that works. So I went to Faction Wars. I went to Demon Spawn. I went to stage 21. And it tells me every breakdown. Now, if you look at this, and it explains it up here at the top, but the Disruptor has 200 accuracy, so I need 305 resistance so that he cannot apply his abilities to me. So that was my goal. So, in order to get 305 resistance, I had to 6-star my Dur. That sounds really bad. And I did. So I leveled my Dur to 6 stars. And then I was able to put a banner on him. Or her. I can't really tell. Them. And so I put a banner on them. And then they were able to resist those abilities. And my other champions would still die, but I could revive them. And then once I was able to get past the two minions that are with the boss, I was able to get Allure going, and she could turn me to control the boss and give me more time to heal up between them taking turns. And I was able to survive with all five champions. And now the only faction I have left to do is Sylvan Watchers. And so in that same vein, I have now that's my next area of progression. And I have really, really a lot of champions on Sylvan Watchers. I have Oella, I have Lady of Ireth, and I have Emic Trunkheart, as well as Creodan and Dythe and Ornn. So I have good champions to play with, but none of them were 60 until yesterday when I 6-starred Emic, but he doesn't have any books on him or masteries, and he wasn't able to carry. So now I just need to go through the progression and try and build them up. I also am only Dythe is my only damage dealer. I kind of lack enough damage. Ornn brings damage too, but it's in the form of poisons, so and he's not booked, so I could definitely afford to bring more more of those. I could afford to get him stronger. And that's the next steps for me on my account. I think I have Loquane, but I don't think Loquane really is gonna make the difference for me. And so now it's just a matter of progression, just working at it, gearing up those champions, leveling them up, booking them up, mastering them up, and then so next week, hopefully I can make some more progress. So that's kind of like, how to figure out what champions are best to use in what areas is kind of just troubleshooting and figuring out what you need. So if we go back to the demon spawn faction wars, I needed a reviver and a healer. So Dur was the choice for me. In the Sylvan Watchers, I need damage. Because I have plenty of support. I mean, I have 3 support champions in that group. I need more damage. So that's where I need to focus. And I leveled Dythe up to, and it's fully ascended, and he's a 50 fully ascended. And it's just not enough right now. So I need to get more gear on him, better gear, spread out some of the, get him a little bit more HP and defense so that he can survive better, and kind of go about it that way. As far as builds for champions, well, there's because of the way that the question was worded, it's not that specific. So the first thing I would say, and I hate to keep using Hellhadies, but I mean it's just what I use for everything. So we'll do Kale Hellhadies again, right? We just talked about that. So that instantly brings me here. They give me a couple mastery options. So there's general PvE and clan boss. If we look at clan boss versus general PvE, it's only 1 talent difference, right? So I went with, what did I go with? I think I went with the clan boss one. No, I went with general PvE. So it was 5% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill versus decreasing the turn meter when this champion hits with a default skill. So I went the clan boss one. Yeah, because I don't need turn meter reduction at all. I need my cooldowns coming back faster because I want those poisons off of Kale's A3. Since you may not already know, the way this works, A1 is their basic attack, A2 is right here, and A3 goes left to right, okay? So his A3 applies poisons. I want that to be off cooldown as much as possible. In fact, it might behoove me to turn off Acid Rain, which is something I'll experiment with in the future. But for right now, this thing still hits like a truck, and I want that damage. So, but like I was saying, I can go into. Oh, I closed it. So Kale Hellhadies. Go right to it. So we can see here, they have mastery builds. And so I just went with the clan boss one. If you're now, I understand what all these abilities do for the most part. I don't have them memorized. I'll have to read them, but then I can get a better grasp on them. But the big thing for me was getting War Master, because that's going to increase my damage based on the percent of health of the target that I'm attacking. In this particular case, in in this particular case, I'm attacking Clan Boss, who has millions of health, and I will get a lot of value out of War Master. If you're dealing with a arena champion, then you might want to consider something along the lines of Helm Smasher, because you'll ignore defense. If you don't already know, defense is the number one way to mitigate damage in Raid Shadow Legends. So most of the champions that you're going to face in Arena are going to have a lot of defense. And this is a great way to get around that by ignoring more of their defense. Giant Slayer is if a character has a multi-hitter A1 or basic attack, because then you will get more value out of this than you would out of War Master, because this only works one time, where Giant Slayer will work on multiple hits. And then Flawless Execution. This is an interesting one. There are certain circumstances where this may be more beneficial than either of the other two skills. An example that I like to use is something like Cold Heart, whose damage is based on HP. So, or enemy max HP. So you may see bigger crits out of the 20% than the value you might get out of ignoring defense, for example. I haven't done the research on it. I'm not sure what I'm using on my Cold Heart. I think on my Seer, I'm using Flawless Execution, but those are some things that can be considered. So if you're looking for ways to build better, start by just looking at the masteries maybe that are given to you in a guide, and go from there. Figure out. In fact, so I had a choice, right? If we go back to Kale masteries, I have a choice. So general PvE or clan boss. These are the two reasons I have Kale right now. Okay. And so I need to make a decision between these two abilities, right? So what did I need more? Turn meter reduction, or did I need cycle of magic more? The reality is cycle of magic is what I needed more, and that's the one I picked. And so you can do a little bit of research and look around. If you're doing support champions, then odds are you're probably going to want to get some stuff out of the support tree. Things like, not Merciful Aid, Lasting Gifts, where the buffs that they apply will be extended. Healing Savior, this increases the amount of value of shields. Is it only shield? Healing and shields, yeah. So if you have a healer, you might want Healing Savior so that they heal more. If you have a real tanky champion, you might want to consider some of the ones down here, like Bulwark, or Unshakable if you're looking for high resistance. Which, like, I have Unshakable, I think, on my Ultimate Death Knight, because he is built for very high resistance. And then Fearsome Presence is really good if you're trying to place abilities from skills or artifacts. So if you have like a stun set, you may want to apply that. So I hope that helps. I hope that kind of I'm able to answer some of your questions there regarding like how to do builds. Oh, well, I guess we didn't talk about gear. So the most important thing to remember about gear is stats over sets. And I'll show you, I practice what I preach. Yes, I do have perception here, but all of these have good stats for what I need for this champion. Okay? And then you'll see here a non-matching set, because these have good stats. I need the speed on this weapon, and I need the speed on these boots. If we look at Kale, these are just the highest. This is just coincidence. These are the highest pieces on my my account. Well, to an extent, I will show you. So I actually have a better shield. It's also Killstroke gear. However, right now, it has too much speed on it. And when I say too much speed, that's because I want my fastest character to be Deacon Armstrong. So if I was to put the better shield onto my Kale, then Kale outspeeds Deacon and completely negates his Deacon's usefulness. So I I have Kale being a little bit slower than he could possibly be so that I get the full value. I could also put this shield on Deacon. However, it does, it does have accuracy. I wonder. Let's take a look. This, and right here, this is perfect. This is how you do builds on characters. Okay. So I currently have 122 accuracy. I would like more, but this is sufficient for what I need in the current content that I'm going for. Now, what would happen if I added this shield? I would lose 27 accuracy. I'm not willing to lose that much accuracy because of what I need to get out of this character. I need him to land decreased defense and leech. So I don't want to make that swap for Deacon. I need to keep the accuracy, right? So that's what I need. So keeping him in perception gear is a big deal. Now maybe at some point I'll get some what speed boots do I have on my account? So let's look at equipped. So I don't have any good speed boots. Now actually, let's take a look. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. It's gonna happen off camera. But I'm gonna level these boots to 16. I'm probably gonna wait until maybe a clan v clan or something so I can double dip because that's gonna cost me a lot of silver to do, probably about 3 million silver. But and the reason being is that this has accuracy on it and it's 5 stars. So the max speed for these boots is 35, but a 5-star set of boots will go higher. I don't think I have any that are leveled to 16 at the moment, but level 16 boots will give you more speed at fully leveled than you would get out of level 4 boots. Actually, how much silver? Okay, we're gonna just do it. Please raid, please be nice. Hey, okay, only a million silver. Perfect. And I got leveled up in accuracy. So now we look at this item. We say, okay, I'm getting 19 extra accuracy and 5 speed, which is good because I want him to be the fastest anyways. So we're going to go ahead and equip these boots. And we don't lose, we actually gain accuracy from it, and we gain speed, which are the 2 stats that I want most on my Deacon Armstrong. And that's how you figure out a build, right? Now, in the case of my Kale is my primary damage dealer on Clan Boss, and I don't have any healing support champions other than Apothecary, but it's a single target heal, so it's not going to make the difference that I need it to make. So I have him in lifesteal gear, so he will stay alive against Clan Boss much longer. I do make several sacrifices to achieve this goal. One of them being that I don't get to run that stronger. Well, also the other reason I can't use this shield, this one gives me way more crit rate. I forget about that. So this one has crit rate on it, but 14% less. So it's still a good shield. One could argue better, but you can see. These are decisions that you need to make. Thinking about speed tuning, thinking about different things like that. I want my Deacon to be my fastest, and now he holds that spot still. I want Spirit Host to be second fast at 169. She still holds that spot, and then no one else has changed. So, and again, Spirit Host is another great example of a build. So I actually have her in really bad gloves. These are really bad gloves for her because they're flat stats. Let's talk about that real quick because you might not know this. Percent stats. So gloves, chest, and boots all can roll percent stats. Now for boots, you want speed boots most of the time, but for chest and gloves, you're going to want percent stats. So something I like to do is a filter. I'll come in here and do this. See these boots? Look at these. These are 5-star epic boots on an account that only has... I have 172 pieces of gear. All right, we're going to do primary stats, HP, attack, defense. So these are HP boots, but they're 5-star epics, right? Gone. Get out of here. I don't want you. Okay? And that's because flat stats on any of these is a no-go. Hard stop. Pass. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Okay? I am not going to level these at all. The only reason they are on her is because I get +2 speed, or I get 6 speed from the gloves themselves, and then an additional 12% from the item. Ideally, I would much rather have HP gloves, defense gloves, or crit damage or crit rate gloves. Okay? But none of these that I have speed on them. So I'd be giving up 6 speed just to get some HP, and I don't need my Spirit Host to have HP because all I need her to do is cast increase attack and then die. Okay? So for my needs, I'll use that piece of gear for now and hopefully get an upgrade to that later. I hope this answered your questions. This video actually turned out much longer than I originally expected. But I hope this serves as an example to you guys. If you ever have any questions about anything related to Raid, feel free to put them in the comments. I do read my comments. I do go through them. If I can reply in text, I will. If it's something where it's a great idea for a video like this one, I will use that and make a quick video to help you guys out. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.